clap for sync. Okay, clap for sync. Okay, clap for sync. Hello everyone, and welcome to another community show. That's what we're calling it, but you may call it AKA that show that we take your comments, slap it up with butter, and then toast it to a nice, delicious golden brown. There's something about comments with slapped butter on it that just does not sound appetizing. Well, the idea of slapping butter on anything is generally a bad idea. We're gonna have a little bit of a format change because I wanted to make this more interactive, so you don't just have to watch last week's video to enjoy this episode. If you are in the community tab, this is where you'll see some of your comments. We're gonna be taking a look at the polls that I asked, and it's gonna be a great time. You're gonna be, at the end of this, you're gonna be like, that was awesome. I feel great about my life.
Are we?
No, I feel terrible. Especially considering what last week's video was.
Oh, yay!
So, if you haven't watched last week's episode, we'll get into that, but I highly recommend you watch it. Matter of fact, please watch it. I spent a month working on that epic.
You didn't see the behind the scenes. I never saw him for a month. I like went to the office and saw a shell of a human being.
My soul was gone. It's back now.
It was bad. It was bad.
It's back now, but it'll be gone tomorrow. Guarantee it. It is talking about YouTube from a creator-employee aspect for someone that works for a creator, and what is, like, how do the issues that you hear about all the time on YouTube, how does that affect the person that's job is just to edit a MatPat video, to edit, hell, even a Jake Paul vlog. That's enough about the video. Let's start with the community tab. Alyssa.
Yeah, Dad.
Give us that first poll.
Ooh, what do you think is the root of YouTube's biggest criticism? Drum roll for the answers.
You're not gonna be able to hit that. This absorbs a lot of sound.
What the heck?
All right, what came in fourth?
Fourth, we have other comment below.
I kind of expected that.
Yeah, that was at 6%. Also at 6%, the platform has become too big. Then at 10%, channels that upload questionable and offensive content. At 77%,
Jesus.
YouTube and advertisers' rocky relationship.
This is surprising. Well, YouTube and advertisers' rocky relationship is definitely the one thing you hear about the most. But for me, I think most of the root comes from the platform becoming too big at this point. I mean, I say police, I don't like that term, but it's hard to police content, so, you know, bad actors get through so much easier. There's so many people posting stuff that it kind of devalues the ads all around. And just like, you don't know if you're gonna be the one getting those good ads or if that's gonna go to the person that just got slightly couple thousand more views than you.
Here's something that I personally think is a problem.
Yeah.
It is a mix of YouTube and advertisers' relationship.
Yeah.
And other. YouTube and advertisers have always had a rocky relationship, and it's only gotten worse over the past couple of years.
Right.
But with social media, with what it is now, individuals have a much bigger say. So somebody can post a shitty video that goes with the questionable and offensive content, and some rando on like Twitter can go, hey, Epic Games, you shouldn't advertise on, you know, YouTube, pull all your ads because XYZ. And they can look at that and go, oh yeah, that's super shitty, you're right. And then pull all of their ads platform wide. Yeah. Not just one channel or two channels that they acknowledge to be bad, and that's terrible for everybody. Yeah,
I mean, that's exactly how this latest apocalypse happened. Was one YouTube creator. It was very thorough, very good investigation, but then his call to action was to screw everyone on the platform, and I'm confused on why that had to be the way it had to be done. Your call to action was to pull ads. While that might seem okay, think about it. One person did something super shitty, so hundreds of people are going to lose their jobs. You are literally saying, one channel is bad, so terminate everybody who works on the platform. Yeah. Hey, Alyssa, I just pulled up poll number 2. Why don't you drop some of that knowledge on me? Hot knowledge. Knowledge. Who do you think YouTube favors more? At 3%, we have the viewer.
4% is the creator. 16% is itself, YouTube. I mean, they should have their interests in mind, but like at the same time.
And well, I mean, in all fairness, they are offering free hosting, which is kind of incredible. And how about that last one as a solid 76%?
76. The advertiser?
Shocker.
I am so surprised.
When I wrote this poll, I understood that was going to be from our perspective, and that's exactly why I did the poll.
Right.
Is because these numbers reflect what us as a community feel.
Right.
This is probably not how YouTube internally feels. I hope someone at YouTube sees this poll. I hope.
Right.
Because I would argue from their perspective, the viewer should be about 40-50%. Why they think the viewer is more on 40 to 50% is because the algorithm exists. Inherently, the algorithm's designed to make you stay on the site longer. And that's really ultimately what it boils down to, is that it wants to serve you up videos that makes you stay on the site. So it's thinking about you, the viewer, and how to keep you on the site. So ultimately, YouTube's probably
the opposite for me though.
Well, considering that we also work for game theory and we're looking up, you know, stuff to use in game theory, that's how we get like disgusting zit pop, because we needed it for that one thing.
Our internet history is whack.
Do not any FBI agents that might be looking at our internet history, just it's for science.
Please acknowledge that it's not for us as human beings, it's for the internet as a whole.
Please acknowledge that when I searched up naked man sitting down, I was not looking for
I've done that. I've had to do that.
My first video, I had to do that. The Westworld video begins with Matt Pett naked in a chair, and I had to look up naked man my first day on the job. And now, the question of the week in the community tab. Alyssa, why don't you just slam it into the eardrums of some fellow viewers?
What would you like to see YouTube, the site, work on in 2019? Scaredy Cat Gaming!
What up, my man?
I would love to see them revise their algorithm and copyright policies.
The copyright policies is the one that I was most interested in. Those that abuse it, though, that is still a prominent issue throughout the entire platform. Someone that just goes, that's mine.
Yeah, I mean, that happens to me especially when I was uploading Uncharted playthrough on YouTube. I eventually stopped because it was all I dealt with. I would get like 20-30 claims on one video, and it'd be for like 10-second clippets of songs that weren't even theirs. I have no idea who these people were. They have no rights to those songs, but they're like, oh, I can claim this, just mine now. And I'm like, no. There
needs to be a punishment. If you're abusing it, you have to be at risk of losing your channel. Like, if you continually lose copyright claims, your profile needs to then be looked at.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah?
We have another comment.
What?
Oh, yeah! It's a bit of an essay, but I appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay. The Superior. A lot of things. First, the copyright system. They have made some good changes so far, but the people can't exploit it a lot. It's a problem. Secondly, the algorithm. I have no clue how to spell it, and I'm too lazy to Google it. If the algorithm was changed to more let's recommend the videos a matter of length, more creatively would be seen in a lot of videos. Instead, it's put out land a video over 10 minutes every day for the money thing. And finally, they should interact with creators and viewers more. I get that YouTube and corporate entity with no heart, but if we have to make everyone the most disliked video ever and completely destroy the comments and replies on every video and YouTube makes to make them fix the things, there's a problem to be solved. That was a ramble, but you wanted an answer to the bloody answer you get. Article 13 getting denied would be very nice.
Yeah, well, that didn't happen. Would be. It's a directive. If you live in the EU, the fight is not over. You might have a month, you might have 2 years, but in 2 years...
It's up to 2 years, I think.
Yeah, 2 years is when the directive takes full effect. So there is still a lot that needs to be done. We talked about the copyright system and the algorithm.
Yeah.
What I really like is let's recommend videos no matter the length.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because as soon as it shifted over to the 10-minute being the magic number, like a 10-minute video, video that can offer up to 10 minutes, that's when you can add mid-rolls and all that sort of stuff. That was gone. And it would just recommend really solid videos more. That'd be nice. Is it something they're gonna do? No, absolutely not, because it does not serve their narrative. So I did a video about working for a YouTube creator. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you watch it, but I would like to talk or at least respond to a few of the questions or comments that were on that video.
Specifically on that video.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of these are like, this episode was great. I'm not trying to make this the like, oh yeah, Dan's the greatest thing ever show. There's a lot of that in here, but I think there's a lot of good points, a few counterpoints, but also a few things to build off of that I didn't get to do in the video.
Right.
That's my like disclaimer to this part. Now, let's inflate my ego.
Okay.
Alyssa.
Yeah, Dan?
I saw there was a novel in the comments.
Oh, another novel.
By a certain Dave Control.
Dave Control.
Why don't you go ahead and put it down? Which, by the way...
Do you want me to speed read?
You might need to maybe slow down around here.
Oh, goodness.
But just, if you're not following or watching Dave Control, 1, what's wrong with you? 2, go do it. Make sure to follow him. And anyway, give me the comment.
He's a great person.
Yeah.
But Dan, you're supposed to be happy working for free, and how dare you want money?
I know, that's on me.
Also, I deserve the Diet Coke sponsorship over Matt Pat with my addiction to it.
Dave Control Matt Pat battle.
I think
Dave Control Matt Pat battle.
there's a challenge that needs to happen here. On a real note, something I think that's worth thinking about is that even in TV and film, jobs end.
Sure.
That's the nature of the industry. TV shows run their course, and you're not always guaranteed to land another film show when you're done working on one. While I agree with you, the algorithm changes can be an ass and feel unfair. I do think part of it is people losing interest in a topic, channel, personality over time, or them losing their trendiness in this business. TV shows rarely last for more than one season and are thankful when they can go longer than that. To make it to syndication is an insane accomplishment.
True.
I 100% agree that the monies we paid for eyeballs compared to traditional media is insultingly low. And the main issue I take up with is in traditional news outlets purposefully blowing things out of proportion or flat out lying. Wall Street Journal, looking at you. Facts! Yeah. Which affects advertisers paying for the ads on the platforms and affects tens of thousands of people's livelihoods. It also depresses me how old school mediums still don't take into account the level of skill videos like this take to make, and how many YouTubers and team members are required to wear so many hats and thusly are crazy talented and jacks of all trades. For sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, one more note. Your animation in this was dope AF. You've gotten so good, man.
Oh, thanks, dude. He was one of the first guys that I nervously sent my Star Wars review to, and like, dude, I'd really like some notes because I'm trying a new format and I don't know what I'm doing. And that one, I look back on that one, I'm like, that video was so sloppy. I think the TV thing's the interesting part because it's one of the things that I think about a lot of the time.
Yeah, like would this show last if the algorithm didn't change?
If I consider like each year a season of that Cybert channel, right? Mm-hmm. At what point in time, like, does the show need to end? You know, like, when does it run its course? But then I look at someone like PewDiePie, and I find it interesting. If you consider PewDiePie something like, let's say, Comedy Central or Fox, you know, like a network. Right. He ran his gaming show until he thought he couldn't do it anymore. And then he canceled that show and he started... He evolved and he started like a new one, and now he's in the meme review, meme review, Pewds News, like that sort of reactionary stuff, and I'm sure he'll probably run that course until he thinks it's time to cancel that show, and he'll probably pick up something else. Right.
But the other thing that I think we need to take into account too is, like with Friends on TV, that ran for 10 seasons plus a couple of extra things, so technically 11. But you grew up with those characters. You knew, like, I was watching that show when I was like 5. I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know what they were saying or the content, but you grow up with them. And I feel like it's the same with creators because you grow up with them and you watch them for so long that like you really feel like you're a part of each other's lives. And that goes both ways. Like, we've been on the platform for so long that we have viewers that we consider very much part of our lives. Like, it does go both ways.
I mean, I guess that's all I got. That's all I got. Also,
Dave Control, we love you.
Yeah, and we'll be down in LA in June. Maybe we hang out.
Yeah.
Alyssa.
Yeah, Dan.
This has been really fucking long, and the battery has literally died on us, and we had to take a 45-minute break to let it charge.
It took a hot minute.
Yeah. So I have time for one more question to put inside my body.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Why don't you give that to me?
All right. I'll make it in terms of leafy greens. Elijah Ducote?
Elijah.
YouTube has changed over the years. Whether that's good or bad is dependent on you. This summarizes YouTube's history well, in my opinion, with how YouTube's focus shifted. I hope YouTube listens to what the users and creators are saying about the platform.
This comment summarizes, I feel, the biggest criticism I got about the video without it being a novel.
Right.
And that is the idea of, we complain so much about the algorithm, but isn't the burden on us to be the one that adjusts to it? And like, if we can't do that, we're the ones at fault. To a degree, a lot of creating a career on YouTube is dependent on the creator. Like, my job is dependent on Matt being good at working the algorithm, tagging his videos, and making sure people watch it. I am dependent on that. Just like how in any industry, you are dependent on the people above you to make sure your product is still being able to be sold.
Yeah, but there's a difference between, as a person, your job depending on you doing a good job at your job versus you doing a good job at your job, but you still may not have a job because a machine decides that.
Yeah, and that's and that's the difference, is that we as a company, we're making a good product, and we're getting it out, and people are watching, and people like it.
Yeah.
So the demand is there. The problem is that our delivery service is sporadic.
Our delivery service is kind of like Google Maps or Waze. Like, sometimes it'll get there, and sometimes it'll decide you need to go in a circle 6 times before you take a wrong turn.
This is how the best way I put it is, like, say you are selling a product and you go through this particular delivery service. Let's call it UP Butts. Because I don't want to put UPS under the bus. Okay, so UP Butts, and it's more fun because butts. UP Butts is delivering all of your product all the time to all the customers that order it. The one day you wake up and your fresh batch of product was not delivered, and you call up UP Butts and you're like, hey, why didn't you pick up my stuff? And they go, oh, because you use yellow on the packaging and we don't like that. And we think that your customers won't like the yellow packaging. So if you change the packaging, we'll come pick it up. And you're like, but people want this!
No, but at the same time, the last time you mailed a package, they needed yellow packaging, and they didn't tell you it changed.
That's the thing, is you call, they wouldn't tell you that it was because of the yellow packaging. They'll say like, well, there was something wrong with your packaging, so we didn't want to deliver it. You should fix it and let us know. And you're like, but how do I fix it? And I'm like, no, you be you. But just know that we're not going to deliver your package.
Right.
That's the YouTube problem, is that the demand and supply are lining up, but this third party is interrupting the supply and demand of things.
Right.
Well, that's all the time we have on this very long community show. There was a lot to unpack because that last video was very big. Remember that I'm always posting stuff on the community tab at least twice a week, so make sure you are interacting here to show up on this particular show. I like to thank Alyssa for being beautiful and amazing and my co-host today. And you're beautiful, and I will see you next week for another video. Not a community show, but something a little more special.
Something that will spawn another community show.
Yes. All spawns community show.
Yeah.
I love you guys. I'm gonna go this way. Alyssa, which way do you go?
I'm gonna go this way.
Okay, great. We'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
I don't like this way.
It's lonely over here, but I have a cat, so that's cool.
God damn it, I got the door.
That sucks.